My parents told me we were going on a family vacation for my birthday, but when I came downstairs with my suitcase, my sister, the favorite, just laughed and handed me a list of chores to do while they were away. That evening, I sent them a photo of my small birthday celebration with some unexpected guests, and they freaked out, immediately booking the next flight home. 3 days ago, I celebrated my 15th birthday, but things didn't exactly go according to plan. On the morning of my birthday, my parents came up to me very happily and told me that, to surprise me, they had arranged for a family trip to the Poconos. I was super excited. Being the less important younger sibling, I don't usually get surprises like this, and I was really happy. However, a couple of hours later, after I was done packing and went down with my bags to leave with my family, I saw that my parents were already out. It was just my older sister, Alex, 17, female, who was waiting for me downstairs. She is the golden child, the one who can always get our parents to do exactly what she wants, and this time was no different. She seemed very happy, so I instantly knew there was something wrong. When I asked her what was going on, she told me there was no need for me to pack my bags and that I could go out and unpack. At first, I thought the trip had been cancelled altogether, but then she told me there would be no family vacation for me and handed me a piece of paper with a list of chores written on it. I was very confused. Then she told me that, even though my parents had surprised me with a vacation in the morning, they had a discussion, and Alex thought that because we have our finals coming up in a couple of weeks, it would be much better for me to stay at home and study. But she gets to go because she's already done with everything. In the meantime, if I started getting bored without my family while they were away in the Poconos, I could start working on these tasks that needed to be done around the house. Then she laughed and said that instead of looking upset, I should really be thanking her because she had bought me some time to study and prepare for my finals rather than waste my time frolicking outside with my family. I was so hurt that I couldn't even bring myself to say anything except ask where our parents were. She told me she was the one who had already sent them off to the airport and stayed back so she could deliver this to me in person because that was her birthday gift to me. She said that my parents wanted me to know they were not giving me false hopes, but Alex had brought up my finals, which were going to be held in a couple of weeks, just after they had surprised us both with the news of the trip, so they couldn't ignore it and thought this was for the best. They had apparently let Alex tell me about this because they couldn't bring themselves to break my heart, and I knew for a fact that Alex loved and relished the opportunity to humiliate me like that. So, I resisted the urge to start crying in front of her and went back upstairs with my bags. I waited until I heard the front door shut, and then I finally broke down and cried for an entire hour. Alex has
Dad
always
was
hated
still
me,
better
and
than
I have known
Mom,
that.
but he used to be
I've
away
also
for
always
most of
known
the
that my
days
parents
and
will
was
just do
flaky in
whatever she
nature.
says without thinking much because,
On some
to them,
days,
her
I
word is
thought
the
he was
Holy
neutral
Grail.
between
But
all
I couldn't
three of
even
us,
imagine that they would
and
do
on
something
some
so
days
cruel
he
and
behaved as
humiliating to
evil
me on
as
my
Mom,
birthday,
if not
of all
more.
days.
I
Alex
won't
and I
say
have
I
had
was
our
a
fair
saint
share of
kid.
fights before, and my
I
parents have
used to
always taken
revolt
her
when I
side,
started
but this was
understanding their
unimaginable.
biases
On
towards
the
me
morning of
and
my
my
birthday,
sisters.
after my parents had told
They
me about the
always got the
surprise
best
trip,
of
I
everything,
even
and I
texted
got
my
their
friends and told them
leftovers.
that I wouldn't be able to hang out
So
with
I
them in the
started being
evening,
evil
as I
to
had
them
planned on
because as a
doing.
kid I
Even they
held
were
them
pretty
responsible
surprised that
for
my
my
parents had
misery.
arranged something like this for me. I guess some things are genuinely too good to be true. But I was still pissed after I stopped crying, and the more I thought about my situation, the worse I felt. So, I decided to do something that I knew would piss my parents and Alex off greatly to get back at them. Since I was home by myself, I decided to go into my dad's office and make a bunch of phone calls from my phone to all the important contacts that I found on my dad's MacBook. I invited them to a party in the evening that I had arranged for my parents' anniversary, and I wanted to surprise them. I know it was a bit of a last-minute invitation, but I told everyone that I would be really grateful if they were able to show up, and since I'm just a kid, most of his business associates agreed to attend this party that I was throwing. I did the same for my mother as well. Neither of them had password-protected devices and had made the stupid decision of leaving everything at home, so it was a piece of cake for me. Then I decided to text Alex's boyfriend on Instagram and tell him the same thing, inviting him in the evening. I also invited my own friends and had them help me set up the house to make it look like a party. Finally, around 7 in the evening, the guests I had invited started showing up, but they were really shocked to see that my parents were nowhere to be found. I kept telling them that it was a surprise for the evening, so they would find out what was going on in due course. Once all the guests had arrived and I had taken a group photo with all of them, I decided to put my plan into action and told them exactly where my parents were. I told them all about the way I had been treated and how my parents always seemed to think that whatever Alex said should be followed, and that I was basically Cinderella but had never spoken up about any of this until today. Then I explained what had happened on the day of my birthday and how my parents just abandoned me and didn't even bother to explain things to me in person, all because Alex thought it was the right thing to do. I saw that a lot of people were extremely shocked since my parents put up a really good act in front of other people, pretending to be nice and decent people, but I can tell you for a fact that good people don't do stuff like this to their own kids. Anyway, once I was done telling them all about what happened, I told them that this was exactly why I had thrown this party, so I could expose my parents and my sister. If I hadn't screwed things up for the three of them badly enough, I also decided to show everyone the list of chores that Alex had left for me. I could see that her boyfriend, who was standing in a corner of the room, had no idea that Alex had this cruel and inhuman streak in her as well. Everyone was quiet after I spoke up and shared what had happened to me. Eventually, I think people realized that there was no point in staying any longer, so some of them left without a word, and some came up to me, consoled me, and then left. The only thing I felt bad about was that I had wasted their time, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. After everyone had left, I decided to send the group photo that I had taken with everyone who had attended the party to my parents and sister, with a caption that said, "Had some guests over for my birthday party today. I think I'm going to finally get started on the list that Alex left me." It was the perfect plan. After I sent that message, they responded within seconds, telling me to fix whatever I had done right now and that they were coming back home on the next flight. I blocked all of them and went to my best friend Fiona's house with my bags because I knew that wasn't my home anymore. Fiona and her parents are really sweet people who always used to tell me that their doors would always be open for me, and I finally decided to take them up on their offer and move in with them. I don't know how long they're going to be able to support me, but for now, this is all that I have, and I am very grateful to them for opening up their home to me so graciously. Anyway, on the day of my birthday, I didn't hear anything from my parents, but the next day, they came to Fiona's house.